What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So we're taking a look at Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 here on the Steam Deck. I'm playing on my Steam Deck OLED, and to be honest with you, I'm pretty surprised at how well the game runs on Steam Deck, and you can pretty much get away with low, medium, and FSR, or even some native 800p if you wanted to here. So we're going to take a look at some of the settings, a little bit of the performance, and give you a general idea how this is playing. I put about 4 or 5 hours into the game, and I'm sure performance can vary the deeper you get into the game, but this is what we're looking at right now. So graphics settings, 800p, full screen, low image quality right now. We have low, medium, high, and ultra in the game. Again, I think low, medium, or a combination of those two is going to be what works for this game for most people. No VSync on for the testing, 120 FPS for the testing here. There isn't an unlimited option. Resolution scaling technology, we have none or FSR. We'll take a look at both and different modes for that. No motion blur or anything on here. And then in advanced graphics settings, you have a few more options. Like I said, instead of low or medium presets, you may opt to find something in between these, like medium textures and some other things if you want to do an in-between. But we'll mostly focus on the presets. So let's get in and take a look at some performance here. Right now, we are on low, native 800p here. So no FSR, just the low preset. And so we'll go in here and we'll change some settings. We'll take a look at a couple of different options here as we get into it. So going into settings, we'll go into graphics settings, change that preset over to medium. We'll leave the FSR off for now, and we'll go into that, and immediately we're going to be too low on the FPS without kicking in FSR. So if you want to run medium or a combination of low and medium, you're probably going to want to go FSR quality or balanced to give you the performance that you're going to need here. So with this medium on, let's go back into the settings real quick, and we're going to go ahead and turn FSR on to quality to start with. So we'll put that on, we'll confirm, and then we're immediately going to get a boost up from that 28 or 29 FPS to about 38. So about 10 FPS increase just by doing FSR quality on medium, and that works out really well. Quality or bounce is pretty good. Now if we go on high with that FSR quality, even at that, it gets pretty unplayable. It's kind of like trying to run medium with no FSR, and really it's not worth going into performance and degrading image quality more. That's why I think low, medium, or a combination is the best way to go. So going back to medium, FSR, and I'm going to go ahead and put that on balanced instead of quality this time to see how that does. Hit confirm, and then we'll be back into it here. And I think this is probably a pretty decent setup for most people. Maybe tick down a few of those settings to low if you want to. You could certainly get into locking this game into 30, 40, 45, depending on if you're running low or medium or what combination there. But yeah, all in all, as I've traveled around to a few different villages and towns, gotten into some quests, played again about 4 hours of the game or so far, typically I'm seeing very good performance, well above 30 FPS on medium with FSR, typically in the 40s most of the time. And if I go for low, 50s, 60s, and I've even been in the 70s if you go for low. It does degrade image quality a good bit on low, but you can get a lot of performance out of it. Even in combat, things hold up pretty well, and I've only gotten into a little bit. Even in the first 4 or 5 hours of the game, there's only so much. A few bandits, some wolf packs, doing some quests, open world landscape kind of thing, but it all performs really well here, and I didn't really have any problems. Gotta get the combat down again. It's been a long time since I played the original Kingdom Come Deliverance, but already off the bat I actually think this game's hitting just a little bit better. It does feel a little bit more refined, and combat does feel a little bit better from what I remember of the original. Now if we go over to low here in some combat, still using that FSR balanced, you can see we get a boost of about another 10 FPS or so here. So if we get farther into the game later on and we get into some areas where performance kind of wants to tank on us, or some bigger city areas or whatever, I feel like there's plenty of overhead here in the game to still continue getting well over 30 FPS most of the time, which I think is really nice for a newer title like this that I wasn't expecting to run that great. And here's a side-by-side of medium on the left and low on the right, just to give you an idea of that performance on the horse kind of roaming around the open world, and 10 to 15 FPS difference between those two. So depending on if you're going more for visual quality or if you're someone who wants to go for the higher FPS, you shouldn't have any problem pulling both of those off here, whichever way you want to go. Whether you're going medium balanced with FSR or quality with FSR, a combination of medium and low, or just straight up low with no FSR native, or up to quality and balance, depending on what you want to see there with your FPS and image quality. But it's all in all been pretty good experience here so far. Again, some of these areas in low actually perform pretty well and above 60 FPS, and you could kick in some more FSR, but as you guys know, as you get past balance into performance or ultra performance, it can look pretty rough the farther into it you get. I haven't run into any weird bugs or crashes or issues yet, luckily, other than sometimes when you fast travel, the UI doesn't always work properly when you have some options there. But other than that, everything has worked out pretty well. A couple frame rate dips in between some areas that you might load in and out of while you're moving around, but frame times are steady, frame rate's good, and again, plenty of room to play here between that low, medium, and FSR depending on what you want. But Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 here on the Steam Deck running really well, better than I anticipated, and so far it's been a great experience here in my first 4 hours or so into the game. So anyways, guys, thanks a lot for coming to check out the video as always. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.